Hello YouTube, this is Angel Charms, back with another video
Hi.
from Crystal Swirlz, Delusions of Male Creatures. This one is 4 hours long. I'm going to try and go through all of it, just little clips here and there, make comments. A little bit different from what I usually just listen to until I get tired of them. I'm trying to go through all of it. I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens. And as you can see, my white clean ceiling with a fan in the corner, unlike Crystal. Anyway, I just want to point that out. But let's listen to what she has to say. She started this live last night before I went to work, and I know there's a lot of sex talk, which is why I pretty much just want to run through this live and get it over with, because she's just nasty.
Hi. This is the perfect time for me to do a live. I put my child to bed.
Your
And
ATM.
now I have time for you. I came up with this topic today because, as usual, the dust continues. And the dust has spread. It's no longer dusty for fat girls, ugly girls, old women. Anybody that doesn't fit the beauty standard that is required of these male creatures. The dust has spread into the land of the bougie. The dust has spread into girls who keep themselves up, are beautiful, drop dead gorgeous, they're Instagram models.
Oh, you mean the ones that you don't want to compete with? Those girls?
They're young. The dust has spread to girls who are average and are able to bag a decent man. You know, Delusions of Male Creatures is a special video because collectively these male creatures seem to think that providing off of the list will make them have suitable mates for mating. They really think that girls' pussies are going to get wet over dust.
Oh boy. Stop objectifying women, Crystal. It's not all about what's between our legs. It's not all about what's between a man's legs. But you wouldn't know that because that's all you offer and that's all you go after. And at the end of the day, that is not enough to substantiate a real relationship. Unless you're a 304. Like yourself.
Now, let me tell you, yes, I took my wig off my head. It's nappy as hell. And I don't care if you saw it.
Notice, yeah, she took her wig off because her hair is nappy as hell and she don't care if we saw it. You've been watching my videos, Crystal, because the last video I mentioned your hair and that wig that you're wearing, which she will describe as it being short like TLC, I guess T-Boz. Now imagine, the hair was burgundy and it was short. It didn't look it wasn't neat on her head like T-Boz. But just imagine that A burgundy, I'm going to call it a rug because imagine that on her.
Now, let me tell you about this experience that I had today at a public building.
At a public building. Why don't you say where you were? Were you down there trying to get food stamps or some kind of financial aid because you're living check to check now? What was this public building that you were at? Because normally if you tell us you went to Walmart, you just go ahead and say Walmart. So what is this public building that you're not telling us about?
A dusty creature I managed to flirt with. It was a Brad. He's older. Now, mind you,
he's this dusty creature. She said she managed to flirt with him. Why are you flirting with a dusty creature? Better yet, why did I even ask that question? Oh, shame, shame, shame on you, Angel Charms. Why did you even ask that question?
much, 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 much older than me. But we're not going to talk about his age. That's not the topic of focus. Right away, he started talking about sex. Okay? He started talking about how he can make a woman squirt. I almost spit out my drink because we talked about this squirting bullshit before. Now, mind you, this is a man who claims he doesn't watch pornography. This is a man who claims that all he does is work. Well, where did you get the concept of squirting? Because everybody knows if you watch pornography, you got that idea from pornography, the whole squirting thing.
Not
so
necessarily.
Obviously, all you do is jerk your dick off all day to pornography that involves videos of women looking like they're ejaculating.
But then again, you could be telling yourself, because as much as you talk about watch porn and play with your pussy, why are you surprised that he knows about squirting? You know about squirting from porn. Ah, there's the connection.
Right away, he goes in talking about, this girl, that I was talking to or whatever. Right away, she started asking me for money for my bills. She said she needed $500 to pay her bills. So what I did, I dropped her ass off where I picked her up. That's what he told me. So of course, I played that shit off. In my mind, I'm already calculating how I'm going to friend zone you and get rid of you.
Why do you have to calculate how you're going to get rid of him and friend zone him? Why don't you just say, you know what? I'm not interested. Goodbye. Why is everything some kind of calculated plan that you just can't say no to a guy? I think I mentioned this in one of my last couple of videos that you don't know how to say no. Oh yeah, you said your silence is the answer. Why can't you just say no?
Okay, I am calculating how to get rid of your ass and put you in the friend category. And I'm already fast forwarding to the conversation we're going to have when I have to politely let you know I don't see you in that way. I want to get to know you, And so what I said was,
why?
Oh, I pay my own bills. I told him exactly what the motherfucker wants to hear.
Now, see, because he's older than her, she let him know she paid her own bills. Why is he talking about sex? I'm letting him know right now I'm not interested. I'm going to put him in the friend zone. I bet if he wasn't so old, she would be saying the opposite of what she's saying right now. And if he gave his same response that he's about to give, that he's not giving a woman money or whatever he says, she'd be going off. Oh, you think I'm going to do this for free? You can't pay my bills and you need to go. Y'all don't provide. Da, 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 da. She's just saying this because he's ugly or old. Why are you talking to him? Why do you waste your time talking to men you're not interested in, or you say you're not? This one's old, you're talking to him. In the past, you talked to that black guy who claimed to be said he owned some property and he was a teacher and owned some real estate. That secret phone call when you were recording him without his knowledge, which is against the law, and then someone told you about it, and you took that live down. Oh yeah, by the way, I do have that. It's 3 parts. Let's see, crime, confession, and concealment. Parts 1, 2, 3. You want to go back and listen to that. Yeah. Committed a crime, admitted to the crime, and tried to erase or delete the crime. But I got it.
He's looking for a sucker. He's looking for a girl that's gonna jump up and go, "Oh, I take care of myself. I don't need no money." But meanwhile, he's pushing his agenda forward, which is to get into the panties. So I already see where this is going. Okay. Now, to get what you want, we're not gonna call it using somebody, right? But to get what I want as a woman, which is to be provided for, that's called using. Right? Gotcha. I see how this works. Shout out to Trevan Foxton in the chat, Colored Gal, Sasha Marie, and anybody else who's in the chat. This is what they're doing now. They are right away jumping to the sex. They will talk about it, send you sexy text messages, ask you to send naked pictures of yourself if you're stupid. And they will try to groom you.
You do the same thing to them.
For the kill. And what is the kill, ladies? You know what the kill is, don't you? The kill is you, sweetheart. Getting you into the bed, getting you to do as much sexual things as possible without any provision, without any commitment.
Now, as I recall, these things that you were complaining about right now, you did those things, what you say, 5 times in the back of somebody's Jeep, and I think he ended up taking you to Applebee's. And so now you're complaining because the script has been flipped?
And they'll lie about the commitment factor. You see, they don't really want commitment. Any man that doesn't provide, honestly, if he doesn't show any signs of wanting to provide, chances are he doesn't want commitment either. Bombshell to all you stupid bitches that thought that all of these men that were pushing what you want to hear into your ear. Yes, if he doesn't want to provide, that is a big sign that he doesn't take you seriously. You're not his type. And he just wants to fuck. He might fuck you for years. That's what some of them are doing. Some of them are using women as a steady source of sex.
And you use men as a steady source of sex. Milkman, guys on TikTok offering them $1,000 to stay a week with Big Mama. So, what are you complaining about?
A steady source of sex, because the pussy supply has dried up. I told you before, because of Roe versus Wade, because of the higher price of living and the dustiness, the pussy supply has dried up. So what these motherfuckers are doing is they are grabbing any dumb bitch that they could find that makes herself available, that doesn't ask for anything. That's a keeper. If they can get one that is stupid like a deer caught in the headlights, you know, and she doesn't have any standards, she allows him to guilt trip her into fucking him for nothing. And they will sit there and they will tell you stories about the girl before you that asked them for money, and she's a bad person because she asked them for money. How dare she? I dropped her ass off. I dropped her off where I picked her up. Now, he thought he sounded smart saying that. He tried to create a sense of panic in me and desperation. And I'm looking at this motherfucker like, number one, you're dusty. Number two, you work as a what? A high-level security guard in a public building.
Well, at least his dusty old ass is working. He's working.
Give me a fucking break. And number three, you're 23 years older than me. And I'm already old. I'm 47. But you're 23 years older than me. You were born in the early 50s. Who does that? And you're going to sit there and try to fucking shame me? Because did I ask you about money? Did I ask you about providing? Am I all in your pockets? No. We're having simple conversations about politics and stuff like that. So
You're not all up in his pockets, as you say, because you can't see the snake that he has in the pocket. Because I bet you if he had a big D, because you're always talking about that, if he had a big D, you wouldn't be saying all this mess. You wouldn't be saying all this. And again, if he's an old ass dusty, why are you even talking to him? Because nobody else is paying attention to you. So you will take whatever attention you can get, including from these dusty, delusional male creatures, as you call them.
I guess he's fishing around because he said, well, this one doesn't bring up money. I see. Yep. I took him by surprise. Right away, he thought I was going to mention money, providing. Nope. I know what I'm supposed to get. I know that I'm a woman, and I know my standards. So I'm not going to even mention money to your stupid fucking male creature ass. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to act like I don't know. We're going to talk about George Bush. We're going to talk about Donald Trump. We're going to talk about politics, the weather, whatever. The price of living. I'm going to act like I don't know. And that threw him off. That threw him off. So I think that's what all of you ladies should do.
Say.
Don't even bring up the money thing. They'll tell on themselves. For you girls that are struggling in this department, do not mention the money. Don't mention you got bills to pay. Don't say shit. Let the dusty take off his mask. If he's dusty, right away, He's going to go in and give you a sob story and act like he's a victim of somebody trying to use him. He's gonna do all the dirty work for you. You don't need to do anything. And yes, Sasha Marie, yes. And guess how old the Dusty is? He is 70. Do the math. I don't know if he's lying. He might be older than 70, but he told me he was 70. I'm confused because men that old usually are from the generation where they provide. Like I said, the dust has spread. Even the old geezers. And I'm sorry, if you're 70 years old, you are an old geezer. So why the fuck are you constantly talking about sex? I can make you squirt. I can make you have multiple. You can't make me do nothing. You're 70. Let that sink in. So this is a joke at this point.
Poor guy. He's 70. He probably should try and find somebody else. I mean, he'll probably have a heart attack before he even gets to her cat.
I'm all the way bothered by these male creatures. I'm beyond disgusted. I'm beyond perplexed. And I'm really sitting here like, is this guy that fought in Vietnam? He claims he fought in Vietnam from 71 to 73. He claims that, he was in the army for a long time, over 20 years. Okay, so help me understand. Why are you still working? That's number one. Because when are you going to give it up? Like, you're 70. You should already have your shit together. You should have an old boat parked in your driveway like a lot of these brads down here have. An old boat where you can go fishing or be out on the water. You should have your house paid off. You should have like a little beat up house somewhere. It doesn't have to be fancy. A little, decent little house. You should not be working. You should have not been working for at least the last 6 to 7 years. You should have been sitting on your ass, collecting a check, working out at the gym, hanging out. No, this motherfucker's still working, talking about what he not gonna do for a woman. And I'm just sitting there listening like, this cannot be real. Is he really sitting there criminalizing? Now, for all I know, he could be...
Criminalizing? What crime is he committing? And the guy is 70 years old. If he's still working, perhaps because he wants to pass his time. I mean, he's a security guard, for crying out loud. He's probably sitting behind his desk, watching TV, just something to fill his time with. And if he doesn't have a boat or the house or whatever the case may be, it's possible that when he was younger, he was married and was a provider. Maybe he got divorced and somehow the wife got half or most of whatever he had. Maybe he had to sell it to pay whatever she got in the divorce. Maybe that's why he doesn't have a boat right now. I mean, the guy is 70. Just because he doesn't have those things now doesn't necessarily mean he didn't have them before. But you're going to leave that part out and just make him sound bad. Like, because he's 70, he should have this stuff. Maybe there was a time that he did and now he doesn't.
Making this up. Because that's what a lot of them do. They play games. He could be making up because I've heard this story time and time again. All of these men are reading from the same book. Oh, right away, this girl that I was taking out, she started talking about paying bills and she needs $500. So what I did, I dropped her ass off right where I picked her up. And I'm sitting here listening to this shit like, wow, well, I'm not like that. I pay my own bills.
Oh, bullshit. For years we listened to you. Get the bag. Make sure he provides and protects. Get the bag before you give them sex. And then at one point in time, that flipped because you were in the back of the Jeep. Slobbing the knob, what you say, 5 times? And then he took you to Applebee's. So you flipped right there. You don't stand by nothing you say. You change like the direction of the wind.
I'm very responsible. I told him what he wanted to hear. But what he does not understand, with his dusty old ass, with fucked up teeth. Yes, fucked up teeth. What he doesn't understand, you are in the friend zone. You're not even a provider. You're not even a cheapskate. That's a confirmation. The only thing that this guy, and I had to let him know, listen, I get to know a person. I don't just talk about sex right away and jumping into bed. I don't do that. If there's no emotional connection, little does he know, the emotional connection is connected to provision. Write this down. That was a gem dropper. The emotional connection is connected to provision. I didn't get into all of that with him, but I dropped a gem on him and I said, listen, I have to be emotionally in tune with you, mentally in tune with you. If those things are not in place, there is no sex. So all this talk about sex, I got to get to know you better first. That's the line
Since when? Since when did that become a priority?
Gave him. But in my mind, my pussy is dried up. Number one, because you got fucked up teeth. Number 2, you are still working at 70 years old. I don't know when you plan, and you can't tell me you want to work. You working because you want to work. You're working because you have to work. You're a bum. You're a dust bucket. Number 3.
My dad is 70 years old. Ex-military. Boat in the backyard where he can fish. Lots of land. House paid for. And it's going to me and my brother. And he's still working right now because he wants something to do to fill his time through the day. He works a couple of days a week. He doesn't have to work, but he's just doing it to have something to do. And it's a little extra money on top of whatever he already has. And he and my mom take trips and go on cruises. So, maybe this 70-year-old man that you're talking about has his reasons for why he's working. But you just want to assume and call him a dusty that you're sitting here wasting your time talking to because you just want male attention, even if it's someone negative according to you.
You took providing off the table in a sneaky way. You tried to guilt trip me from asking about anything that had to do with providing by letting it be known that the girl before you is a criminal for even asking you to pay bills, for asking you to provide. She's a criminal. Gotcha. So if that is the case, since you shamed me out of talking about money, Why are you talking about pussy, sir? Why are you talking about squirting and orgasms, and why are you acting entitled?
You act like you're entitled, number one. Two, you can easily walk away from this man and not continue to converse with him. It's that simple.
Like, I'm even going to give you any pussy. Why are you talking about, oh, I'm really good in bed. I like oral sex, and, I like to go down on a woman, and I make sure that I please you before I please myself.
I bet you she brought up the sex talk. I bet she did. She brought up a little sex talk, got him excited, and he probably just went on and on and on and on. And now she's making it seem like he's the one that's doing all this sex talk. I mean, come on, let's be honest. We know that she likes to talk about sex. So don't think for a minute that it was this man doing all this too, and she had no part of it.
That's what the motherfucker told me. Let me repeat that. I make sure I please you before I please myself.
And what's wrong with that?
And he paused.
What's wrong with
waiting
that?
for a reaction from me. Like, did she bite the bait? So basically, all you're offering me is sex and orgasm.
And that's what you offer men. You're just saying all this because he's old. That's the only reason why you're complaining. Because if he was a milkman or somebody younger, you'd be jumping all over this shit. Who you think you fooling?
And I don't know how I'm going to get these orgasms if you're just fucking me and not giving me anything. Where are these orgasms and all of this squirting coming from? Because, newsflash to all of you delusional male creatures, my pussy cannot get wet. The minute you start guilt tripping me about money, somebody write this in the chat, because this is a topic that I want this particular word to take off like lightning. And it's a word that I made up. Money shaming.
And first of all, that is not a word. Actually, it's a term. Because you have a meaning for it. I mean, words have meaning too. But that's a term that you're going to use for what this guy is doing. And please stop acting like you making up some new shit. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Give her credit.
Write that in the chat. Because I'm pretty sure, other girls are going to hear it and they're going to run with it. And that's fine, because there's a lot of things that I make up that I never get credit for. But I want to make this particular term, I want it to trend and take off like wildfire. Money shaming.
It's not.
You're money shaming me. But why are you still yapping your fucking gums? Because he has gums. He doesn't have any teeth in the front. Why are you still yapping your fucking gums about sex? That's what I don't understand. And do you really think that I'm built like you? Like, do you really think I want to drop my drawers and get wet over a 70-year-old cock?
Yep. And right now she's coughing. Maybe she didn't have sex with him. Maybe she's coughing for another reason.
He said he didn't have sex in 8 years. That's what the motherfucker told me. Now, is it that you haven't had sex in 8 years? Or is it that your cock has not gone up in 8 years? Now, he kind of told on himself, because he said he hasn't been hard in 8 years. Oh my God, you got me so excited. I went into the stall at the bathroom and I jerked off over the toilet. That's what he told me. So you are jerking your dick off. Your crusty, old, used up, dusty penis. You know,
And you play with yourself while you're watching porn. Stop shaming this man for what he does in the privacy of his own home. And then what you do in the privacy of your home, you gotta tell us about it. Ew.
showed him a picture of my